Hi guys, welcome back to another Driveway Developments YouTube video, and my name's Rowan. Now I know just how expensive it can be to maintain and keep on the road your Japanese performance vehicle, whether that's a Subaru Impreza, a Mitsubishi Evo or any other high-powered Japanese car. The costs, they add up, and it can be quite a challenge sometimes to keep them in good working order. Now through my YouTube channel, I do get to interact with quite a lot of you, and also my Instagram page and the Evo clubs. And I get quite a few people asking me if I'll work on their vehicles. So I've decided to set up a website. I'm gonna have a couple of services on there, which I'm gonna offer at a set price. And if it's helpful to you guys, well, feel free to contact me, and it's something that I am happy to offer now to the public. So today, we're gonna be working on this red Mitsubishi Evo. We're going to be doing an SST gearbox service. We're going to be doing an engine service, a gearbox reteach, and also fitting an upgraded engine mount. So that's the works planned for this car. Let's have a look at the parts I'm going to be using to do this work, and I'll explain to you a little bit why it's important to go to someone that knows these cars. Firstly, the engine oil then that we're going to be using on this Evo 10. It's important to use the correct oil that Mitsubishi state. Now, some people will stick all sorts of oil in. If you go to a garage, sometimes they will buy it by the drum, 1,000 litres of oil maybe, and every car that comes into the workshop will get the same oil, whether it's a van, an Evo, a GTR, or, I don't know, a motorbike. They pretty much will just stick that oil in every car, most garages. Well, you can't really do that on a Mitsubishi Evo 10. Now, the oil I'm going to be using for this service is Castrol 5W 30 LL. It's fully synthetic, and it's the most specific type of oil that is going to work ideally in the UK climate on that Evo. It's the best oil you can pick, in my opinion, to suit the Evo 10. Now, we're not going to be using just some cheap generic parts. A genuine Mitsubishi oil filter, a genuine Mitsubishi sump plug washer. So for the engine service, that's all we're going to need. Now the same applies to the gearbox. The owner of this car, he recently, a few years ago, he had the SST gearbox serviced. Now I believe it might have been at a generic garage, just your average type of garage. They've probably done quite a good job, but we cannot tell for sure if they put the correct gearbox oil in. Now it's quite low miles, and he's getting a little bit of clutch slip. So we've decided it's really important to fit the correct oil to the gearbox. Now you ask anyone who knows what they're talking about in the Evo pages, they will know SST oil in an Evo 10, you have to be very specific in the type of oil that you're willing to use. So the oil I'm going to be using is Mitsubishi Queen SST fluid. It's the best oil you can put in the gearbox. It is expensive, but it's not worth taking the risk, because these gearboxes, when they go wrong, they cost thousands and thousands of pounds. So it's little things like spending an extra £100 on the proper oil that's going to make all the difference. Now, the filter on the gearbox, we're going to be using a genuine Mitsubishi SST filter. Minus the engine oil, all these parts I'm using on this Evo have been supplied by Rossport. So check out rossport.co.uk for all your Evo supplies. They got these parts to me within a day. So I said I needed them by the weekend, and they were here Friday. So perfect service once again from Rossport, and a big thank you to them. Now you're probably wondering, what is my website? Well, I'll put that in the description. It's drivedev.co.uk. So that's enough talking. Let's get this Evo running as good as new with nice fresh oil and filters. Let's do it. That's the engine oil changed, engine filter changed, SST oil changed, SST filter changed. The engine mount has been upgraded, and now we're just going to flash over the new firmware and do a gearbox reteach ready for Chris to take you home. Now, last time I spoke to Chris, I'm sure he said he wasn't sure whether it had proper Diaqueen or Transmax dual fluid put in it at the last service. This is the importance of having someone who knows Evo 10 SSTs, basically, because when I drained the gearbox, there was only 5 litres of oil that come out. There's supposed to be 8. So that does show really that whoever had done the service before, they hadn't put the correct amount of oil in. There are no leaks on this car, so there's no way that 3 litres has disappeared. It just wasn't put in the first place. So really important, take your SST to someone who has experience with them. Generic garages, while they're probably more than capable of working on the majority of cars, this SST gearbox is specialist, and you do need someone who knows the gearbox. Anyway, the firmware is almost done. Then we just have to do a gearbox reteach, and it'll be ready for Chris to take home.